Howdy everyone, it's Parker G again, and today we're going to go over SP10. So we're going to be looking at question 1, 10, and 8. 8 was provided on the Canvas page, right? So question 1 says, compare and contrast f of x is equal to x squared minus 4, and I think this should be g of x. It's just a different function. It's equal to x squared plus 4. All right. So if we just look at the graphical comparison between the two, I already have them graphed on Desmos. We have x squared minus 4 and x squared plus 4. We can look at a couple things, such as which way do the parabolas open? Well, they both open up when we look at the graph, and we know that their a value, which is just positive 1, makes them do that, right? Well, what about their axis of symmetry? Well, on the graph, they look the same. That's because the axis of symmetry is negative b, which is negative 0, divided by 2 times a, so just 2, right? And so that's just y is equal to 0. Actually, guys, x is equal to 0, right? Because that's a vertical line. Boom. Looks like they're the same. What else? They're vertexes. So their vertexes look like they are on the y-axis, so it is the y-intercept, or that c value of negative 4 and positive 4. So we can see that right here, and boom, right there. What about x-intercepts? Well, x-intercepts where it crosses the x-axis, so where y is equal to 0. And only one of them has the x-axis, and that's the one that is under, right? That has the y-intercept of under, well, x squared minus 4. So if we did our either quadratic formula or any of our other ways of finding the roots, we could find that as well. What are some other things? We have domain and range. Well, for domain, we know it's a polynomial, so it's all x, all values of x. But what about our range? They should be different, right? So again, we would look at our y-intercepts or our vertex, and we could tell them that it's everything above negative 4 and everything above 4. All right, so that's just comparing and contrasting these two. They're pretty similar. What about question 10? Create a quadratic equation with solutions x is equal to negative or plus or minus square root of 5. Well, we're just going to work through the square root method, but we're going to do it backwards, right? So if we're going to go backwards, we are going to square both sides, right? So then we are left with x squared is equal to, well, the plus or minus is going to go away, and then we have square root of 5 is just, square root of 5 squared is just 5, right? It's equal to 5. Well, now we can subtract 5 from both sides because we want it in standard form. X squared minus 5 is equal to 0. So that would be our very, very simple quadratic equation with the solutions x is equal to plus or minus square root of 5. That's pretty simple, right? Now we're going to make up an equation for a quadratic formula that has 2 x-intercepts, 1 x-intercept, and 0 x-intercepts. So you have 3 different answers, right? A, B, and C. Well, if y'all just watched the SP9 video, we know that I'm going to take this right over here, copy, paste. This all determines, or is determined by the discriminant, or b squared minus 4ac. And so if it's less than 0, that's no x-intercepts. If we have b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0, then we have 1 x-intercept, and b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0. That's 2 x-intercepts, right? So let's try one out. Let's try to make up 2 x-intercepts. We're going to want b squared minus 4ac to be positive, right? So I'm going to choose, let's go b is going to be, let's say just 4. So b is equal to 4. And then it's going to be minus 4 times a. What should we make a? Let's make it a negative number. so that it makes that negative in the negative 4ac a positive and makes it a positive discriminant, right? So -1, and let's choose something for c. Let's go 10. C is equal to 10. Well, when we simplify, we have 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times -1 times 10. Right, so 4 times -1 is +4, so plus 4 times 10 is 40. So 16 plus 40. That is 56, right? So that's our positive discriminant. So again, the full equation would be -x squared plus 4x plus 10 is 2x-intercepts. Well, what about if we want just one x-intercept? We want our discriminant to be equal to 0. So I'm going to move that down a bit. B, we have b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Well, let's just keep 4 for our b value. So 4 squared minus 4ac. What can we choose for a? So we have b is equal to 4. A is equal to, I'm just doing this off the top of my head, so let's just keep it 1 and see if I can't make one that's equal to 0. And then c would have to be 4. Right? Because so we have 4 squared is 16 minus 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 4 is 16. Well, 16 minus 16 is just 0. So the full equation would be x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. Boom. Now let's double check that with Desmos. So I can exit all this, and we said x squared plus 4x plus 4 is equal to 0. Boom, I did it right. What about no x-intercepts? So that's going to be part C here. No x-intercepts, we want it to be less than 0 or a negative discriminant. So we can have A is equal to, B is equal to, and C is equal to. Again, I'm just starting with B, and we can just do something small. We can do 1 squared, so B is equal to 1, minus 4. What should we do for A? We can just keep it 1. And C, let's do 10 again. Right, so 1 squared minus 4 times 1, or 1 squared is 1, minus 4 times 1 is -4. -4 times 10 is 40. So 1 minus 40 is -39. Right? So our full function is x squared plus x plus 10 is equal to 0. And that will be no x-intercepts. Alrighty, guys, I hope that helps. Make sure y'all are coming to office hours if you're struggling any, and I hope to see you around.